I also want to thank my colleagues here at the States, Gabriela from Nash 21, a PropTech that is disrupting the real estate market with the rental tokenization approach. Welcome, Gabriela. Welcome, Gabriela. How are you today?
Great. Thank you so much for the invitation.
And Carlas from Codit, which is one of the most important ibuyers here in Spain. Thank you for joining us today and for accepting this invitation. How is everything, Carlas?
Good, good. Happy to be here, and thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. So let me also introduce myself. Before I start, I am Sheila, Gracia, CPO at API and co-creator of Mapaproptech.com. And before starting, I would like to present API and the Spanish PropTech. API is the Real Estate Agents Association here in Spain. We started to look deeply at the PropTech ecosystem because we wanted to be the translators and integrators between the traditional professionals in the real estate sector and the techies, and I mean the PropTech solutions. And that's one of the reasons we created Mapaproptech.com. Providers and professionals can find each other. Our PropTech map today has 526 PropTech companies, and it is divided in two parts, the B2B part and the B2C part, where solutions working with traditional professionals represent the 60% of the total map, and the other 40% are solutions B2C. So the majority are solutions that work with professionals in the real estate market. If you want to consult it, you can do it in mapaproptech.com, and we are updating information each Friday. From a point of view, it is an important PropTech map because Spain is the second country in the world that most investment in PropTech attracts, according to the last report of Deloitte. Also, API has a 360 degrees platform for agents that include more than 150 services, including many PropTech companies that are integrated with us, creating like this a complete PropTech working ecosystem. And as we say that we work with agents, mainly we work at the transaction part, and that's why we are leading this roundtable at this European PropTech event. So, as I think that I have already done this introduction, please, Carlas and Gabriela, I think it is time that you can also introduce yourselves and your companies so that people listening can understand which is your background and your experience. So, Carlas, if you want to start with the coded presentation, the floor is yours.
Yes, sorry, the mic. So yeah, my name is Carlos Ribes. I am from Barcelona, and I'm Barcelona City Manager at Codit. Codit is one of the main ibuyers in Europe, and our mission is to, through technology, to be able to bring a second life to those apartments that need to be renovated in the market. And this is mostly what we do. Also, at the moment, we are launching other verticals important for us as well, such as the brokerage. So we are building a brokerage in Spain and other markets, and what we call Codit Pay, which is our rent-to-own value proposition for the both sellers and potential buyers.
Okay, and like last week, I was speaking with you guys in CIMA, and I was asking you a question, Carlos, that it was about what about the e-buyers through many purchases could control the prices in a specific area. And you explained the Zillow example to me. I found it very fascinating. So would you also like to share it today with us?
Yes, so the Zillow example is interesting for many reasons. So they basically started to buy lots of real estate without, I would say, that much control on the price. And of course, this is dangerous. This might be dangerous. So on the other hand, there are other examples that I think that are really interesting in the market. So and this is something we were talking, you and I, before. And what's happening in the US, for example, is that there's like the fear that can we, the iBuyers, control the housing price by buying huge amounts of real estate? Well, I would answer for my market, and what I have to say is that, first of all, Spain is the largest secondary market in Europe. This means that the private buyer is super important. In fact, also the seller, the private seller, I mean, the private market is super important, and which means that I think it's very difficult, even all of us, all the iBuyers together, you know, to be even more important than the actual private buyers. So for us, I think it's very difficult to be in such a position of controlling the price, the housing price. But also there's another thing here, and is our value proposition itself. So as I was mentioning before, what we want is to give a second life to under-renovated stock in the market. So what we've seen is that in Europe, we have historical real estate, old housing, and that needs to be renovated. So again, what we do is we purchase this real estate that typically has not that big value because, again, it's under renovated, it's old. We bring value to this portfolio via renovations, and then we sell it on the market price. So because of these factors, I think it's very difficult to go to this scenario that can potentially happen in the United States, because the market is different, basically. And so this is my answer about this.
Yeah, absolutely. The European market and the American market, they have so many differences, but as sometimes we are seeing the American market and just comparing ourselves to see what could happen, I think that it is a really, really interesting question. You were telling about that you purchase, you add value, and then you sell it. How many, I am going to add one question, but how many days pass since you purchase, since you sell media?
So yeah,
average.
So typically we do that in 3 months. Okay. And for us it's very important because, again, as we don't have a speculative business model, it's about bringing value. So if we want the model to work, we need to be fast and to have volume. So we need volume and to be fast. And so we did that in 3 months.
Yeah, it's an excellent time to sell, considering the average in the market. Thank you very much for your presentation, Carlos, and we can continue with Gabriela. What about Nash 21? Which is your project, Gabriela?
Thank you, Sheila. Well, my name is Gabriela. I'm co-founder and chief business officer. Nash 21 is a protocol for the tokenization, guarantee, and auction of rental contracts. We redefine the global rental market by redefining the old rental contracts, making them smart. We are the first global marketplace to trade rental contracts. Until now, an owner signed a rental agreement with the tenant and keep it in a drawer until the tenant leaves or renews the contract. Our proposal is focused on giving value to that dormant asset, the rental contract. Nash 21 allows owners to fluid rent, which means they can claim their rent day by day or week by week, or even hour by hour without the need to wait until next month. Also, the rent could be received completely or partly in advance. Contracts can be transacted in our marketplace. So in that way, we are democratizing the rental business to new targets. Really tokenize the contract is becoming digital. Now they are liquid and transactable. In a simple sense, we take the old rental contracts and we convert them into a smart contract. So how the magic happens, we use blockchain for the tokenization process. Each rental contract becomes an NFT because each contract is unique and the rent are 100% guaranteed by our fund and an insurance company. But the most important thing is that the owner of the NFT always receives the rent in fiat, euro, USD, or cryptocurrency as she or he decides. Among the products we are working on, we are developing loans collateralized with NFTs with the objective to get better interest rates. In the case of tenants, we are building a product that they can use the cryptocurrencies as collateral with the owner. And for the real estate agencies, we want to give them new tools in order to cross-sell their customers. This path has just begun. We are redefining an industry, a challenge that is possible today with the combination of new technologies, experience, and market knowledge at our team.
Okay, perfect, Gabriela. I have also a couple of questions for you. What happens in cases where the tenant leaves the property before the end of the contract?
Well, the smart contract is programmable. Is programmed and always paid to the owner of the NFT. So if the tenant leaves before the finish the contract, our process has
so it continue grows as it is warranted. So it continue paying to the owner of the NFT. Yes. It doesn't matter, I guess.
There is no problem with that. We have 3 months. We give the owner 3 months in order to get a new tenant, or in case that it was not possible, which is a little difficult because in the place that we are now in traditional properties, it always happens. But in case that it is not possible, we work with agencies that we can get one new tenant in that case.
Okay, perfect. So 3 months is a lot of time in order to find a new tenant, actually. And the last question, is the NASH 21 business model applicable through all Europe? Because I think you are currently working right now in Spain, but it is legally, you can work legally in other European countries or also in other countries, maybe not in Europe?
Yes, of course. The members of the UE have been working together to have a common legislation. So now we can operate in all the European zone. In 2021, MiCA and MiCA, which is the marketing in crypto assets regulation, will be ready, and this will make things easier to operate better and regulated in all the Eurozone. On the other hand, we need to study the regulation about rentals in each country, of course, but in a general sense, every country has the same rules. Maybe we need a few arrangements, but it's not a big problem for us.
Okay, thank you very much. So after all presentations, let's start with the roundtable questions, if it is okay for you, Carlos and Gabby. So you know that this roundtable talks about the new real estate transaction PropTechs. And we represent an iBuyer with Codit, the tokenization with NASH 21 and the digitalization of real estate agents here with Happy. What other big players and technologies do you think that we are missing at this table? For example, real estate portals or virtual reality companies come to my mind, but which other technologies do you think that are really important in this transaction part of the whole process that could also participate in this table? We can start with you, Gabriela, if it is okay.
Okay, yes. In our case, we clearly identify 4 customers with whom we build value: owners, tenants, real estate agents, and insurance companies. this path is just begun, and little by little, the rest of the protagonists of this chain will join us to add value and of course necessary for the industry as a whole to advance in its evolution. So I think this technology is very new. We are trying to download the technology to penetrate real cases into the market. And well, this is something that we have to evangelize.
Okay, what do you think, Carlos?
Yes, so our business model is about transactions. So of course, for us, the portals, as you mentioned, are important. Being able to set up healthy relationships with the portals is important for us, for the market. They are super useful and super necessary for our models. So 100% aligned with that. Also the valuation tools, which are becoming very important. Not all the time, you know, let's say, so if I'm thinking about how practical they are for us as transactors, so they are very useful tools for us to have the first approach. Then, of course, we believe that the agents are still necessary. That's why our model is around the agent. So basically, our agents can go to the landlord and they can offer them like an instant offer, but also we can sign a mandate in which we can help you selling on the traditional way your house. So valuation tools are amazing to support us in this process. Of course, the marketing tools, we're all the time thinking about how can we help the clients to better sell or buy properties. So, you know, virtual reality, as you were mentioning, is also important for us. And I'm also very happy to be with Gabby here because tokenization is something also super interesting. And it's, I would say, something very new and not that much explored. So I think it's super, super nice to have a company like yours, Gabby, representing this debate.
Yeah, and I would add also the platforms that integrate all solutions are really bringing a lot of changes also in the market. So we were talking about the present, but also thinking about the future. What do you think that is going to happen in the future? What do you think that are going to be, which technologies do you think that are going to be the real game changers?
So,
please go ahead.
Oh, was it Gabby? Sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
So okay, so as thinking about our model, I would say that so different from what many people typically think. What we at Cody think is that agents will be very important. So for us, because at the very end, when you are buying or selling a house, technology is perfect to empower, you know, the transaction itself, but you always would need the personal touch, you know, the personal advice of someone expert. You know, like we were talking about the valuation tools, so it's very important to have like the big picture, but many times a house from another one next to it is different because of many intangible things, like, I don't know, it has more light, it has less light, the renovation is better or worse, whatever. So the agent is important. So for me, something that we are seeing at Codit is how important are the agents and how important is for companies like us to empower them through technology. So for us, it's very important being able to empower those agents with the best tools for them to being able to better help their clients.
Yeah, absolutely. That a personal touch, the human touch, it is a confident reason for the buyers. Do you think your companies are PropTech disruptors, Gabriela?
We are definitely redefining the role of the market. Value in a contract that was, sorry, I do it again. We are definitely redefining the rules of the market. Valuing a contract that was kept in a drawer, but now acquires the properties of being transactable, liquid, and with new uses. It's something very disruptive in this traditional industry. Through NAS 21, there are more people who can be exposed to the returns of the rental market without the need to buy a property of 250,000 euros. Is undoubtedly a leap towards the democratization of this industry, and we want to be part of this change or redefine or evolution, as we used to say.
Yeah, definitely. You are disrupting the market. And what about COVID, Carlos? Are you also PropTech disruptors?
So that's a good question. So I think we are disrupting the market in the sense that we are being able, by the services that I was mentioning before. So we are ibuyers, so we know how to buy the best properties, but we also know how to sell them. We also know how to renovate them. So step by step, we are being able to go to our client, and instead of saying, we're going to buy your house, or we're going to sell your house, or we are going to renovate your house, whatever service you want to provide, what we say is, how can we help you? How can we help you? Tell us, how can we help you? Because via technology, we are able to help you with your real estate problems. And for us, this is the big disruption that we can offer to the market. So via one platform, we are step by step being able to provide to our clients the best solutions.
Yes, you know about this, there are like two kinds of technologies that are arising. New technologies that didn't exist before, and digitalization of the existing processes, that they are doing it like quicker, better, more effective. What do you think that is going to happen in the future? Are going to appear new technologies that are going to change and revolution the PropTech, or are we going to continue digitalizing the market? What do you think that is going to happen? How this is going to evolve?
So
Gabriela or Carlos?
No, please go, Carlos.
So no. I think that Gabriela has a lot to say here, because they're running a technology, very disruptive technology. So it's changing the game somehow.
Yes.
In our case, even of course, we are more than like fascinated with this kind of technologies, and of course we are exploring all the time with new solutions. But somehow what we've seen is that this is a very traditional market, for example, in Spain, but I would say all across Europe. The real estate market is a very traditional one. So digitalization is very important, but not per se, but to help the users, to help the clients. So technology, yes, always, but to help the clients to have a better experience, to buy in a most convenient way, to sell in a most convenient and a smooth way. So technology for the user. This is for me the big thing here.
Yeah, well, I think in my personal opinion, I think both are necessary, because all the things that we were doing until now, we have to make them better. We have to use the technologies we have in order to develop the service the client needs. But when everything will be digitalized, I think that it will be the moment where new technologies will arise, because the base will already be done, So companies like NAS 21, like Daniela, that they are really inventing new things in order to bring the PropTech and the real estate market to another stage will really start to appear. So congratulations, Gabriela, because you are one of the first ones doing so.
Thank you, Sheila. Well, as you said before, you talk about the game changers, and for our blockchain is one of the technology that is changing the rules of an industry. It's a technology that is impacting many sectors like agriculture, carbon footprint, public sector. It is no longer just for experts, and there are companies that are bringing blockchain technology down low to real industries. No doubt the impacts will be seen in the next 3 years, but it is reaching all the industry. And we used to talk a lot with the team and partners about that, because the real estate industry is a very traditional market. So for us, it is very difficult to try to make a revolution. All the time we hear about startups that want to make a revolution, but for us it is not the way. We think we need to follow a natural evolution, step by step, including all the value chain. I like to say again that we evangelize, we need to evangelize. We show we can build a real estate 3.0. NAS 21 is here not to take away business, but to enlarge the case. That's why we are not looking for a revolution, but definitely for evolution. We propose to move from the old rental contract to the new smart rental contracts. A simple example, television. When the television appeared, it was a revolution. And then plasma was created, LCD, and the smart TV as natural evolution of the product. And this is what we are building.
Yeah, I think you nailed it with the word, it's evolution. I like that word, Gabriela. Next question. In API, as you know, we talk with a lot of PropTech companies. And when we ask them how they got the idea for the PropTech, the responses normally are divided in two, because they saw a need not covered in the market, or because they have like a bad personal experience when they tried to buy their house. Which is your case? How and why did you companies start it?
Well,
you can start if you want, Gabriela.
Perfect. Well, in our case, one of our partners is FINAER, which is a centralized guarantee fund, which has been working in the rental market for the last 10 years in many countries of Latin America and Spain. Our CEO, Nicolás Barilaghi, was part of it. And when he knew the Bitcoin technology, crypto economy and tokenization, he perfectly understood how this technology could improve the business, and summoned three professionals with experience and background in crypto to make the magic happen.
Okay, and what about you, Carlos, in COVID?
So I can talk about COVID itself and maybe about my personal experience as city manager. But talking about COVID, of course, we saw how the European market is under renovated. So there's clearly a very old historical stock of properties in the market. So it made a lot of sense for us to being able to participate on its renovation. So this is COVID-wise. And personal-wise, I always like to talk about this experience, because this is somehow demonstrating how real estate is everywhere and in every single, let's say, momentum and situation on everybody's lives. So my background is not on real estate. I come from the music industry. This is very particular. I used to be a Warner Music signed artist when I was a teenager, till I was 23, 24 years old. And something that was really a big challenge for us was to find housing solutions for us, that we were moving from city to city from time to time. That was really struggling for us. And so here comes my personal, like relationship with real estate, because I was all the time thinking about how can something so much important like housing, like real estate, can be so much under, developed. So here comes the reason why, after my music background, my music experience, I decided to start in the real estate industry, trying to somehow contribute on this challenge.
Yeah, all of
challenge.
This. Yeah, all of this is changing a lot. So in this event, we also talk about growth, merge, and international expansion. So let's talk about these 3 points. When we talk about merge, in Appy's case, our case, we are always looking for agreements with PropTech companies in order to give better service to our members. Actually, we currently work with Nash 21, well, with Finair. And the last time I talked with you, with COVID people, we had a lot of cooperation ideas, and very interesting ones, in fact. But what about you? Do you think you need alliances with other PropTechs? What kind of technology are you looking for? For example, could Codit and Nash 21 work together? What do you think about this type of cooperation when you met another PropTech? How do you approach it?
So I think Gabby had lots of interesting ideas. We had the chance of talking before. So,
well, at the beginning, of course, we strongly believe that we are starting a new era, the era of interoperability, which suggests that services are interconnected with easier and affordable options for customers and complementary in their value propositions. And in case of Codit, they sell properties. And one of the things that we were talking before is that in some cases they have the property for some times. And you say, Carlos, that you have a rental unit. You have incorporated a new rental unit. So this in this part is where we can add value to your business in terms that we can tokenize their contracts, and you can transact this NFT in what the contracts becomes, and get the money in advance in order to continue fertilize the business. If you need money to do some business in your core, you can get the money selling some periods of rent or the contracts as a whole, and this is another way to finance your core business, for example.
100%. 100%. We have to talk about this. In fact, it's a very good idea. The point about real estate is that many times real estate has like let's say a dynamic life cycle in which many things are happening in the property, in the real estate asset, and so of course we can find many collaborations there. In general, I think something very interesting about the PropTech sector. And I think it's happening everywhere. The world, is advancing like so fast. But something I'm seeing all the time is how all the time looking to provide the best solutions for our clients. We are partnering with different solutions. As I was mentioning before, for us, evaluation tools are super important. Portals, of course, are very important. Virtual reality, marketing tools. So yeah, always happy to explore this kind of alliances.
And this thing that we have just seen is the magic of PropTech. Actually, for us, it is super amazing every time that we introduce two PropTechs, because we always find something to do. It's like, yeah, this is one of the parts that I love the most from my job. This is amazing, always, because you always see a way to grow.
Well.
Yeah, that's amazing. And when you find a partner, what type of agreement would you seek? For example, with appraisal, with the appraisal tools that you were talking about, Carlos, or I'm going to give you like 3 options. Which one would you prefer to establish when you find a PropTech with whom you want to work with, talking about merge? So buy the other PropTech, be a solution providers, or develop a collaboration. Which one do you prefer?
Well, it depends. Depends of the age of the company, or how many money has in order to buy another company. I think we are startups that are developing our business and building our models and adjusting things. I think we are going to a new type of business model about, as I say, interoperability and collaboration system. So for us, it is better if we can create collaborations, of course.
Yeah.
First of all.
For you, Carlos? Yes.
Yes, I can do nothing but agree in what Gabby said. Depends on the moment. Collaborations are super important. Even we in Codit have experienced some acquisitions and merge. So this is something we are doing. We're integrating other companies in our company. This is super interesting experience for many reasons. You're bringing unit economics, you're bringing business, of course, but also you're bringing talent, which is even more important in my opinion. And you're bringing new technology sometimes. So, but you can do that via partnerships. I love many times more than being a service provider. I love to talk about partnerships. So many times it's super interesting to just align positions and being able to deliver this solution all together as a partnership to the client. But it depends on the moment, on the situation, on every scenario. But
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. And this event is also talking about international expansion. Are you planning, it is in your roadmap, to expand your PropTech to other countries? If yes, where are you planning to land in the next month, years? Or on the contrary, do you prefer to stay in your origin country? And why?
Yeah, I mean, in our case, for example, we are an international company at the moment. So basically, we were born in Finland, then we expanded to Poland, and now we have operations in both Barcelona and Madrid. So in full Spain, and we definitely are looking to expand our business in different countries. In fact, at the moment, we are looking to expand to couple of new countries in Europe. This will be really very soon, hopefully. If not, we are always very much looking at what's happening in the market, because we see ourselves as a global solution. We don't see us as a Spanish solution or as a Finnish solution or as a Polish solution. We see that we can bring value at least to the whole European market, because of what I told you, because the market is really very similar in many ways, different in some others, but in many ways, stock-wise is very similar. Like, again, thinking about our core business, or main business or original business, which is iBuying. Thinking about that, you see how if you go, I don't know, to Spain, Italy, Portugal, France, whatever you want to go, Poland also. There's like an old under renovated housing market that needs to be renovated. So this is a great opportunity for us to contribute in the market. So that expansion is important for us.
And what about you, Gabriela?
In our case, we were born in Spain, but our DNA is global. Our proposal impacts an entire industry, and one of our challenge is in the marketplace is that anyone, wherever they are, can have access to the profitability of rentals in another part of the world. We have, the team have been working together since 2021, and we launched the product last April. So during the next months, we have to build, adjust, and make it stronger all the business model. But the next steps will be Latin America, because our smart capital is there. It has a great development in many countries there, and the business model there is a little different than here in Spain. But this is something that we want to test, and we are a startup. The DNA of a startup is think about how it can grow and scale, and it's important to think in a product that can reach a great geography. So that's why we have to do, but of course, baby steps.
Yeah, you are a newborn right now at the PropTech sector, so little by little. And what about your final customer? How they are and how they are transforming? Which is the type of customers you have? Are they young people, boomers? How are they?
For us, we are building a product that will be consolidated in the next generations, definitely. The question brings me back to think when fintechs emerged. Back then, we talked about how people's relationship with money was transformed. And in this case, the challenge is to imagine the future, how people's relationship will be transformed, especially of the next generation with fixed assets.
Yeah, for example, in our case, we are seeing a big move from the buyers, especially. So in the buyer side, we see how this generational change is actually there. So our standard buyer would be between, let's say, 30, 45 years old. So is someone who is used to technology, someone who is using the portals, definitely, someone who is expecting super high standard service. On the seller side, we see how the transition is slower, of course. So most of the sellers that we are working with at the moment are people from, let's say, 60 to 80 years old, many times. So these are people who are not that much used to technology. These are people who you have to serve many times with different tools. That's why I was saying before that technology is not good per se. Technology is good because it helps other people having a better experience in different situations in life. So we see how technology can help even an 80 years old man or woman selling his or her house. For example, being able to sell their house faster. This is a way to be a technology help someone, you see. But on the buyer side, again, we see another approach with technology. So, so we are working with two very different segments. And of course, this will be changing to a momentum in which our sellers will be digital natives. And so we have to be very close to this, to this momentum. It's very interesting momentum. And we need to be very fast responding to these necessities of the clients.
Yeah, I am absolutely agree with you when you say that technology is like a tool for in order to help the clients, but sometimes they are not even aware that they are using technology, and this is a really nice thing. It has to serve for you, but maybe you don't have to know that technology is there, you know. I have like, we have 3 left questions, and this one is like a little bit personal. In 3-5 years, do you think that you will lead other startups, or do you plan to stay long in this project? Because, you know, people that is starting projects sometimes need to continue starting projects. But what do you think about yourselves and the project you are leading right now? Gabriela or Carlos?
Okay, well, Nash21 is a global company with a huge challenge to evolve an industry. There are very few times in life that a person can start in this type of transition. Most of them are witnesses. At Nash21, we are leading we are passionate about building the team, developing the business model, technology, the DAO, the foundation. There are some of the great challenges and dreams we have as a team, so it's gonna take some time. We are developing something huge and great. I feel more than I imagine. I feel it. And this is something that it's gonna take time.
So yeah, definitely, and I can share something similar here. And okay, so in fact, I was talking about the transition from buyers to sellers before. So this means that this market, this game, this business, real estate, is moving so fast all the time. We have like a big challenge. And in fact, I must say that I'm in this sector and specifically in this company because of this, because I think the opportunity is massive, the challenge is super big, and it's about, it's a matter of time. So yes, I definitely see myself in this company for many years, especially because this startup-ish thing that people like me, and this is very personal, but it's like this, people like me really appreciate from a company, will remain in a company like Codit, definitely, because again, the sector is moving so fast and it needs many times from this kind of energy, from this kind of quickness, from this kind of velocity, from this kind of spirit. So definitely, and also there's another thing here that different from what many times people might think about startups, but talking about Codit, this is an actual business. So we try to have a solid business, and for that reason also, yes, I cannot say anything, but hopefully I can stay many years with this project because the challenge is big. And the opportunity is also big and solid.
Absolutely, you have a lot, and you have a lot to grow. And just the last 2 questions, because today these questions are for our audience. Today, PropTech associations are listening to us, so maybe it is a perfect moment to catch their attention. How do you expect the associations to help you? What do you need from them?
Well, in our case, we need to evangelize crypto as a solution. Crypto is not only cryptocurrencies. We need to support an open, trustful discussion about that. Tokenization is not the future, it is now. So we would like to collaborate with the associations to create content together, like courses, talks, events, conferences, regarding how this technology can develop the next real estate generation.
Okay.
So I think that from an investor, you can expect many things, but I always like those institutions, those investors that, of course.
But we were talking about PropTech associations.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So
we will talk about investors in the next question. Yeah.
Sorry.
About the PropTech associations, maybe you need that they will help you when you land in a new country, because in the international expansion that you are going to do, when you talk with another PropTech association, what would you need, for example, from them to help you when you arrive to a country?
Knowledge of the market, of course. So this is very important. Even for us, even we are from So even we are from Barcelona in our case, but something very interesting, for example, from API side, was to collect data to better understand the market, to better understand the ecosystem, the real estate ecosystem. So this is very important, and of course, on the other side, collaborations, partnerships with other real estate institutions. So I think in this sense, associations like API are also always very useful.
Yeah, also events, as Gabriela said. So that's like the moment to connect, to have more knowledge, in order to have all the contacts when you arrive to our market. That's really useful. Yeah, you're right. And now the last question, we talk about the investors, because they are also listening to us. And what do you expect from an investor? Apart from money, which is an obvious reason, but what more things when you talk with an investor are you expecting from them, Carlos?
So again, like it happens with the associations, I would say knowledge, experience, vision. So it's not only about capital. Of course, you many times need capital to grow, but also is about these intangibles that are really useful. I think that from an investor, you apart from being aligned in capital wise, but you need to be aligned vision wise, and so being able to have investors that apart from capital can provide you with other things, it's super important. It's crucial.
Yeah, and what about you, Gabriela? What do you expect from investors?
Well, beyond the opportunity to participate in our period token pre-sale, I agree with Carlos. Knowledge, experience, what we used to say, the smart capital. We need facilitators in different countries that provide us with support in local industries to build trust throughout the value chain. It's very important to find this key person who open doors in the country, in the industry, in the network. So this is the profile of the investor. Beyond the money, you need a smart capital in the company, especially in the first stage.
Okay, so I think they have heard. So we are arriving to the end of this table, of this amazing table. We have talked about opportunities, merge, clients, PropTech, international expansion, and we could continue. We really could continue, but time flies. And it is time to finish this round table. Thank you very much, Carlos. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you, Gabriela, also. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, all your thoughts with us.